Us car enthusiasts are something of an endangered species these days. One by one, our four-wheeled heroes are assassinated by new rules and regulations. While the days of pure combustion might be numbered, every once in a while there's a car that reminds us that we don't have to go quietly into the night. Cars like the Lamborghini Huracán STO.
Welcome to the Nardo test track in Italy in what is a very privileged opportunity to drive a prototype of the Huracán STO, the new top of the performance tree in terms of road-going Lamborghini Huracans. Now, something I have to stress is that this is a prototype. What you see here is not finished, but the dynamics of the car, the engineering of the car is very close to being ready. And we've been hammering it around this track all day, and I have to say Nardo is an incredibly challenging circuit. There's a very good reason why they test and develop cars here, and actually this privileged scenario, the data is actually being used to help develop this car in its final stages. So let's not disappoint, shall we? This aggressive body kit isn't just for show. It actually generates over 400 kilos of downforce at 124 miles per hour, which is substantial. And that rear wing has 3 selectable settings. Earlier we tried it in its lower downforce mode, and it certainly allows for a little bit more movement through the corners. And considering the power available in this car, it can unstick those rear wheels quite happily.
In the Super Trofeo Omologato, Lamborghini wants to create a dramatic supercar that echoes the highly successful GT3 and Super Trofeo gentleman racing cars. As you can imagine, the headlines are enough to get petrol heads salivating. A familiar 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10 sits at this car's heart, something that produces 631 brake horsepower and 565 Nm of torque. This performance potential is channeled exclusively to the rear wheels for a purer and more involving drive than any all-wheel drive Huracan could hope for.
So the car has a series of selectable drive modes, but what we're actually testing today is the Trofeo mode, which is the most aggressive element of this car. Throttle response is increased, gear changes are at their absolute fastest, and there's less body roll as well. The suspension adapts itself accordingly. And what you're hearing there is the sound of a naturally aspirated 5.2 litre V10 engine. A rarity in today's world, that's for sure. And the reduced weight in this car, 43 kilos less than the Performante, of course helps with things like braking and the change of direction. Now, I would like a little bit more weight into the steering, but there's no doubt how precise it is. Now, there's not an official 0 to 62 time or top speed for this car yet, but considering that it is 2 seconds a lap faster than a Performante around the Daytona circuit in America, it's safe to bet those figures are going to be pretty damn impressive. Something we've been testing today is the ferocity of the gear shifts from this 7-speed gearbox, and as I can demonstrate here, it is plenty responsive. The level of grip is great, but as I say, it's actually a more playful car than you might imagine. The chassis, because of its short wheelbase and the power available, means it's very throttle adjustable. And even on the brakes, you can really feel through the seat of your pants the car moving and shimmying, giving you that driver communication to be a bit playful. And I have to say the carbon brakes are another big star of this show, because you can really lean on them into corners and you find yourself actually stopping much shorter than you would do. It's a bit embarrassing the initial laps you go out in the car, because they only serve to surprise you. and they're 60% more resilient than those found in the Performante model. The noise, the communication, and the interaction is absolutely synapse singeing. As an enthusiast, this car absolutely delivers. Lamborghini are keen to stress that this isn't a full-out track car. That's what their Trofeo vehicles are for, after all, gentlemen drivers. But you should be able to get a taste of what the GT3 cars are all about here and soften it up for the road. The car's theatre, the car's drama is certainly there, all present and correct as it should be in a Lamborghini.
The thing that is most striking about the STO from behind the wheel isn't its sheer performance, but how accessible that performance is. Lamborghini is very proud of its Trofeo gentleman race cars being both capable and approachable for all skill levels, and in many respects this supercar is the same. Don't get me wrong, it still requires a healthy dose of respect, but it doesn't feel as hard-edged or as intimidating as some other race-inspired rivals, and that is not necessarily a bad thing. This prototype drive is just an amuse-bouche for when the STO hits the road and it's totally finished guys. Considering how impressive the package is at this point in time, and the fact that engineers still have some tinkering to go, the STO should be quite the crowning glory for the Huracán range.
That was the frankly ballistic Lamborghini Huracán STO prototype. We had a very privileged look at this car today. Development still continues for the next few months. And in fact, by the time you see this, actually, this will have been a couple of months ago from this being recorded. So a really early look and a very exclusive opportunity to help shape the development in some way for this supercar. What an honour. Anyway, for more on the Lamborghini Huracán STO and its full production guys, and any more details on any supercar you fancy, head to yesauto.com.